Birds of Prey had a big, fan event, and I think a premiere, like one of their premieres or openings this past weekend. And they interviewed a lot of the main cast members, including Jurnee Smollett-Bell, who plays the Black Canary in the film. And she said some interesting things about the character she's playing and the origin in the comics. And some of the things that she's saying are making me think they're going to put it in the movie, and be a bit truer to Black Canary's comic book origin, which is interesting because one of the things that has some people worried or, confused is, the character looks and designs of the characters in the Birds of Prey movie, like Black Canary, are very different than they are in the comics. And I'm not just talking about race bending or anything, just the way that Black Canary is dressed, her background, from what we can glean from the movie, seems drastically different from comics. But the things she's saying in this interview here reference, Black Canary's comic book origins, which makes me think that, they're going to use more from the comic book source material than we may have thought from what we've seen so far of the trailers and stuff. But let's get into her responses. She starts by talking about discussions she had with the movie's director, Kathy Yon. A lot of my conversations with Kathy early on were about the origin story of Black Canary. She was written so many years ago, over 70 years ago, yes, and she'd been retconned so many times, yes. I'll talk about some of Black Canary's retcons in a bit. It was really about honing in on, okay, what is the origin story for Black Canary in this DC universe? Really honing in on this idea of being in her mother's shadow or surpassing her mother in her greatness, when you actually have greater power than your mother, but you don't want to do what your mother did. One question I kept asking is, why is she in this club working for Roman Sionis, aka the Black Mask, who's being played by Ewan McGregor? So we really had to fine-tune and hone in on the whats, the whys, the whos. It was really exciting and fun for me to explore this woman who's so powerful and completely in her own way of her own power. Now, in the comics, Black Canary, her origin, as Jurnee Smollett-Bell just said, has gone through a lot of tweaks and changes. But one of the things that's carried over and that a lot of people know her for is that the Black Canary, who's most active in the comics and joined the Justice League and the Birds of Prey, is actually the daughter of another lady who called herself the Black Canary. And it looks like since Jurnee Smollett-Bell referenced that in this quote, I'm thinking they're going to put that in the movie, retain that part of the character's history in the movie. And also in the comics, one of the big things about the Black Canary, other than, her martial arts skills, is, her canary cry, right? Which we've seen her use in some of the trailers already. A lot of us were worried that she wouldn't have that because, this movie seems to be such a departure from the comics. But we've seen the evidence in the trailer, so they are keeping the canary cry. So I'm wondering how they're going to explain the origins of that cry, of that sonic scream power in the movies. In the comics, there have been about, I think, three different reasons, three different origins for Black Canary's canary cry. I think one was it was magically gifted to her by a spell or a curse. Another one, she was born with it, like it was kind of a mutant power. And then another time, I think most recently, it was some kind of experiment that was done for her when she was on this team called Team 7, when she was some kind of a government agent earlier in her past. I don't know which one of those origins they're going to go with in for the source of her power in the movie. But interesting. And I don't think her mother had a sonic scream power. I think it was just, her daughter who had the sonic scream ability. I could be wrong about that. My memory's fuzzy from the comics I've read. So I do think this, I have a positive reaction to this. I like them taking more elements from the comics for the character in the screen. So I'm very curious to which one of those origins of her superpower they're going to use for the movie. Is it going to be the mystical aspect? She was born with it because of some kind of mutant gene, or some kind of experiment that was done on her when she was younger in the past. Maybe they won't even say where she got the canary cry from in the movie. She'll just be some lady who has it, and they'll wait for maybe Birds of Prey 2 or another DC movie with the Black Canary appearing in it to explain how she got that superpower. But very interesting. I like hearing them talk more about the comics in these interviews about the movies. Good stuff. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.